Let's do that. Here we go. Hold up. Hello, hello, hello. Just setting up some stuff right now. Don't be dumb. You're being dumb, machine. Oy. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we got that. Sound should be working. Ooh, sounds pretty loud. Let me reduce that a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me put this. I'm gonna rearrange this right here. Put you right here. Okay. Then we'll put you full screen. Here we go. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Full screen. Here we go. Here. There we go. Okay. Final was terrifying today. Okay, so for this game, here, let me actually just take a look at chat. Hi Kami, hi Easy, hi Locative, hi Angelica, hi Kana, and hi Susie. Okay, I'll take a look at Band Labs. Survive day 1, hopefully finals isn't that bad. Back pain is just the opening for a brand new pain. Back pain is actually the worst. I have a lot of back pain for me. Alright, so what I'm gonna do differently for this playthrough is that just to speed things up, I'm going to be changing my gameplay of instead of hard into medium, mainly because I think I feel like a lot of us are getting a little bit bored of my gameplay, and it is very repetitive, so I'm going to change it to normal, just to speed things up. Sensei, something really upsetting just happened. I'm sorry to hear that. No damage speedrun. That's what we're changing it to, I guess. Now I'm wondering if we actually play as Kaine. The sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. The thin wisp of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden, hawk-shaped weather vane at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vein, which existed for as long as anyone could remember, and it stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that has survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I. The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on. Come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched as the vein slowly creaked to life. I don't know what voice I should be doing for the italics. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly toward the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a halo of stones began to fall all around. Oh no. They found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Okay, I'm assuming this is the child, so I'm going to change the voice real quick. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo! Kaine! The voice belonged to Dimo. Worst of all the bullies in the area. Oh, I should have changed it to something else. As Kaine struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from a cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Dimo and his usual gang of idiots. I don't think that's how you say Demo? Whatever, we'll figure it out later. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kaine's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? Though she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to the sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. No worries, Kami. Thanks for at least stopping by. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated and, if possible, destroyed. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Dimo's words chewed at her like a worm through an apple. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't. Why are you doing this? Oh look, the little freak is gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from the world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. Okay, so this is Kaine talking then. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off. Kaine couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn it away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. Did you just say no? Demo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kaine, he called to his chorus. Come on, guys. Let's give the freak what she deserves. As soon as Demo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Demo paused, still grinning, as Kaine curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. It's pretty fucked up right now. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak, chanted the children. Freak, freak, freak! Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entirely. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned to terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god. He's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kaine, but the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand Dima was using to cover the wound. Now we know where Kanye's getting her language from. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted it back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining! Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch! A big one! That thing could have killed me! The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Dima's face twisted, looking at his eyes on Kanye. He took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out! Leave this village! No one's here! Either of you! Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Dima and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Look at the fat boy go! Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kanye. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl, placed it around the young girl's shoulder, then produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kanye, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother stung Kanye and she turned away. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in check for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me. They think I caused bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kanye's tears turned to sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kanye found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next, and it grants no mercy to any that attempt a crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know, the pain of losing someone close to you, Kanye. You know, because you survived it. As the words hit home, Kanye was struck by the force of her love to the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Kanye called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence. In the first few years, honestly has not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kanye and her grandmother had grown close and honest, cute. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud, with tears and blood kicking her face, that Kanye truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Kanye's pain and loneliness, it was definitely her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Of course not. Don't be an ass! Kanye drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad would... Shh. Interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they could just go to hell. Do chat mods have special abilities? Yes, basically, they're similar to me. They can ban or time out people. That's basically the rules of the mods. So if they're really behaving inappropriately, then, because I'm usually playing the game, the chat mods will do it for me. But we don't have too many people where I need chat mods, as far as I can tell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kanye's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems or losing a single petal was remarkable, and the beauty of it made Kanye want to cry all over again. Hi, Yuko! Oh my gosh! These are lunar tears! Grandma, you made this for me? Lunar tears were legendary flowers. Most people could live their entire lives without ever seeing one, and yet her grandmother had somehow collected a dozen or more. Kanye reached up and touched the wreath as if she couldn't believe it was real. Sorry, Yuka. Oh, you sort of joined it in story time, it looked like. Hopefully you don't mind. What? Where did you find these? Just stumbled on them while I was out doing the shopping. The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Tiny to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct the ornament, let alone track down the flowers using the I can't speak, don't worry, using his construction, made Kanye's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it felt between her fingers. Didn't quite turn out right, said her grandmother as she squinted at it. These old hands had trouble with delicate work, but it sure looked good on a pretty girl like you. Hi, Azusa Sensei! Kanye blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty? Course you are. What a fool thing to say. Thank you, Grandma. Her grandmother smiled. We're gonna be fine, you and me, she said. Long as we got each other, we'll be just fine. Kanye took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As it began the long walk home, Kanye gripped the hand with all her might as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away on the wind. The rain had stopped. Kanye stood beneath the weather vane, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough, even if it's us against the world. Kanye let her gaze drift up past the vane and into the cloudy sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed for home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. Chat always slows down when I'm reading these. I'm pretty amazed by that. In the distance, Kanye heard the steady sounds of an axe striking woods. This noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if he was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. The firewood being produced, however, was as far from a work of art as could be. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung about a barren yard while abandoned. Anyone trying to stack such wood would probably die of frustration before the job was thorough. Who was saying this? Stupid piece of shit axe? Oh, stupid piece of shit axe. Kanye's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make the most hardened sailor blush. Grandma, called Kanye. That you, Kanye? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close, or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought the axe down on the piece of wood, sending chips flying in every direction. One spun past close Kanye, close enough for her to hear the whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma! Do you need help? I could get you water or lunch or a new axe or something. The axe poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, and then she smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor-ass job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over, so I can go get the water. Jades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of the bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far the most difficult of the two jobs, but Kanye knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no changing it. Kanye did her best to help with chores, but Grandma took every task that required travel to the village. Though she had a long list of plausible excuses, Kanye knew the real reason. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kanye moved in, Grandma decided to take up residence a good distance from the area. Out of sight, out of mind seemed to be the best policy when it came to the villagers and her granddaughter, and rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land they called home. Kanye enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandma was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother leave, Kanye turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. Swing after swing of the axe produced only a tiny crack in the wood, and when she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, The tool embedded itself in the log, and it refused to budge. Frustrated, Kanye swung the axe around her head and threw it, log and all, across the yard. Damn it! Crap! She suddenly just understood the joy her grandmother felt in a good curse. This is the start. This is the start of her downfall in her language. Happier now, she picked up the axe, forced it from the wood, and resumed chopping. She had a natural skill with a blade, but the task was challenging, and blisters soon began to form on her small pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are all weird sizes. Spitting on her palms and ignoring the pain, Kanye redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned from the village. Setting down her buckets with a small sigh, she took one look at the logs and coughed out a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy girl. You better practice if you... Her grandmother suddenly collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Eyes wide, Kanye dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a trembling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Can't let it spill. Let me clear my throat. Kanye steadied the bucket with a foot as she knelt by her grandmother. A small bit of water sloshed over the side and made a new home in the hem of her dress, but Kanye didn't notice. Grandma? Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the woman lifted her arms and batted Kanye away. Stop that! Just stop! She cried, breathing heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Fuck. Just tired from the chip is all. Kanye desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman shaking hands and worn face told her more than words ever could. Her grandmother had lived a long, hard life, and it seemed the bill was finally coming due. The time when her grandmother watched over Kanye was ending. Sooner than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. The next morning, Kanye came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. Grandma, you're sick, and you need medicine. I'm going to the village. The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kanye gently pushed her down. It's all right, she said. I'll be fine. Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that could melt steel. After what seemed an eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. Well, I don't like you, goddammit. I guess I should stop being so stubborn and let you grow up. The old woman watched as Kanye strapped on her boots, and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across the darkest rainy sky, she was still watching. Kanye moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure she wasn't being stalked by a shade, or even worse, Demo and his gang. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kanye finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, muttering to each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kanye took a series of rapid shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong. She chanted those words to herself over and over as she slowly made her way. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund, older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air and telling anyone who was listening exactly what she thought of Kanye's presence. Hey lady, said Kanye with a bravado she did not feel. Where's the apothecary? Is that how you say it? Whatever. The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. How dare this thing speak to me? They seemed to say. But Kanye saw that her eyes held a different emotion. Fear. Yeah, we're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one. Which way? Kanye repeated. The woman pointed at a small building to her right before hitching up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kanye cringed, expecting a stone to come flying from an assembled crowd, but none came. Her mind was filled with a strange sense of pride as she made her way to the apothecary, but the new emotion had little time to take root, for as soon as she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer. at the counter. It was Demo. He'd clearly been sent here on some kind of family errand because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. Oh my god. He sputtered. I mean, what are you doing here, freak? The insult was delivered without force, and Kaini happily ignored it, stretching on tiptoes to see over the counter. She asked the shopkeeper for the medication. Ha! Barked Demo. That old bitch finally keeled over? Go to hell, Demo! The boy's eyes grew so wide, they seemed ready to fall out of his head. But before he could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told him to knock it off before he kicked them both out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaini under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared a medication. Countless tiny bottles filled the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. An ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was exotic, but not altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaini a sense of peace. Surely in this world so vast, there would be a place that she could call home. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic and they were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. You like that picture? Kaini turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad, and they seemed to stare through her and into nothing as he spoke. That's my daughter. I sketched it when she was just a little girl. She's been dead a long time now. Kaini just didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. You know... Hi, Hash! Yeah, thanks for joining the stream, though. Pictures are wonderful things, continues the shopkeeper. They let the ones closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, then looked down at Kaini and smiled. Handing her the medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old wax crayons. You should have these. There's no one left I wish to draw. Kaini took an instinctive step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard the rumors about you, he said. It's a small village, and word travels quickly. But between you and me, I'm really not sure what you're going to believe. I also think they don't matter much. I know your grandmother, Callie, and I think the way she was driven out of this town is just deplorable. Grandma's name is Callie? Thought Kaini suddenly. She was still mulling this new fact over in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hand. Your grandma is an old friend of mine, he said as Kaini scooted away yet again, and I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I truly think she would like that very much. Kaini murmured a quiet agreement, but inside her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was a tiny, almost imperceptible step, but it was a step nonetheless, and with enough little tiny steps, she might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kaini returned home, she found her grandmother asleep in her bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, even bleeding a bit in pieces, leading Kaini to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandma's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. Back already, are you? Asked her grandmother with a yawn. Come here. Let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up and examined Kaini from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? It was, kind of fun, said Kaini with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun, eh? Asked her grandmother in a voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaini removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed her grandmother that she was going to sketch her portrait. A portrait of me. Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, It'll make you live forever. Horse shit, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet away from her bed. Living forever would just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help with dinner. That's so funny. But Kanye would not relent, and in the end, Grandma found herself leaning against the wall of their house as if posing for a master artist. Kanye took up the crayons, eyed her subject carefully, and set to work. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kanye finished the piece. After staring at it for a bit, she released it from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. Doesn't look like you at all. I'm sorry, Grandma. I thought these crayons would, make drawing easy or something. The old woman's eyes narrowed at her granddaughter's disappointment. Let me be the judge of that, she said, ignoring the pain in the back and reaching for the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It also could have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in a chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time, then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kanye, she said between laughter. You truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me, and I love it. But, hush. I won't hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. Here, it came from the heart, and I'll treasure it always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place of honor right above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kanye would often catch her staring at the portrait with a strange smile on her face, an action she interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kanye could stand it no more and asked her grandmother to take the artwork down. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She pondered this for a bit, then turned to Kanye and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture made me happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was a moment that burned itself in Kanye's memory, a perfect blend of pride and love and joy that came together to form a lifelong remembrance. She swore to never forget this moment, to never forget the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Here, let me adjust the mic closer so it would be easier to hear me. Oh, time moves on, people and memories move in and out of a life like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment will be different, Kanye swore, because I will remember it forever. Forever. Kanye's dream. Separation. Let me adjust my seat. Trying to get more comfortable. Kanye listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the black object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around the wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Please drink water, Sensei. Your voice is breaking up a bit. Is it? Okay. Finally, she summoned her courage and gave the object a brief sniff. A sharp, bitter scent flew up her nostrils and made its home there, causing her face to twist with disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cookie pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug, said Kanye, and I think it's burnt or something, because it smells terrible. With that, Kanye held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing as little as possible. Oh yeah, that's terrible, all right. Why, you little brat, laughed the old woman. Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact. 5 years had passed since the moment when Kanye's grandmother saved her from the bullies. As is often the way with two stubborn people, the relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in an equal measure. Kanye could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kanye started to shoulder more and more the daily responsibilities. Her grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day, and she could no longer do many of the chores she used to take for granted. And so this morning found Kanye lacing up her work boots with a breakfast of birds berry rolling through her belly. "Where are you going today?" asked grandmother suddenly. Kanye looked up surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. "Well, I was gonna check out the kelma trees and see if they were ripe. I thought we could make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow." "Flagstones? What in the hell for?" Easy. Kanye stared at her grandmother, then held out an arm and swept it around their home. Constructed mostly of cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in the final round. "Grandma, a dying cat could shoot through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection at least." The old woman laughed, exposing her toothless grin to the world. "Goddamn, girl. If a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let it come. We got nothing worth stealing anyway." "I'm not worried about thieves. I'm worried about shades. People saw one west of the village yesterday." The old woman tilted her head and stared at her grandmother. Our granddaughter. "Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other." "Grandma, no. If I don't go to the kelma trees, we won't eat tonight. You know that." A confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost at a carnival. Yes, she said after a bit. "Yes, of course you're right. I'm sorry, Kanye. Lately, it seems my mind is..." She didn't finish the thought. Instead, walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunar tears from the drawer, the flower's petals had aged to a brilliant whiteness, and Kanye thought it was more beautiful now than the day she had first received it. "You're gonna be a true woman soon," Grandma said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. "Hi, Herbie." "So that means less chatter about shades and building defensive wall and more talk about how beautiful you've become." Annoyed, Kanye reached up to remove the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. "You're a beautiful thing," said the old woman, "and there ain't nutter like you in all the world." Why is Nier now a storytelling sim? Dude, it was like always a storytelling sim. There was like a whole segment I just like had to narrate for like a whole 45 minutes. This is basically gonna go close to that now. "I'm very proud of you." "Okay, Grandma, that's enough goddamn compliments for one day." "Such a mouth on you. Where did that come from?" "Gee, I wonder." "I'll teach you to sass me, girl," yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kanye by the ears, pulling around the room with a crazed grin on her face. "Grandma!" yelled Kanye in a quaking voice. "Grandma, stop it! What the hell?" The old woman stared at her and blinked, then slowly held her wrinkled hands out as if it was the first time she had ever seen them. I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just..." Kanye thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking thing she had ever seen. "Listen," she began. "Maybe I should stay home after all." "No, I won't have you stay here to keep an eye on an old codger like me. You go get your fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. And when you come back, I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you." Kanye rolled her eyes, then kissed her grandmother on the forehead, and made ready to depart, trying desperately to ignore the worry that was gnawing at the walls of her heart. Oh no. That's a flag right there. Kanye could feel the old woman's eyes watching her as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself, but in the end the temptation was too great. She spun on her heel for one final look and saw a small bent woman standing in front of a ramshackle hut with a sad expression on her face. God, She looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kanye worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. What little fruit she could collect was tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, and she only found a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing herself for the lack of focus, Kanye pushed the nearly empty wheelbarrow back down the path. As she crested the final hill, she suddenly froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, sending a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling back down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed by a thick black cloud that hovered just ahead. Tracing its path with her finger, Kanye suddenly felt her stomach knot in on itself. No. Oh gods, no. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, the flames licking up as if trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma? Grandma! Kanye ran then, faster than she had ever moved in her life. Once she slipped on stone and went sprawling into the rocky ground, but she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wounded hands and knees. As she got closer and closer, Kanye's mind began to race in time with her footfalls. It's too dark. It's too dark. Not just fire. Can't be fire. Too much smoke. Gotta save her, gotta save her. She burst into the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicions confirmed. The smoke from the fire was mingling with the thick, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet, and its chi balanced through means of a large armored tail. Scales, horns, and claws sprouted from its body in a random, chaotic pattern, giving it the appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kanye, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning across the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into a shimmering, inky blackness, as her mind was unable to comprehend that such a thing could actually exist. But then the smell hit her, a blend of rotted meat and excrement, and the horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kanye responded with a scream of her own. Alright, you bastard. She thought as the scream echoed off the high cliffs around him. It's you or me. Let's go. The shade-eyed Kanye with a bemused interest, then it began looking from her to the outside and back again, as it urging to look at the destruction it had so gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kanye glanced toward the house. Through the smoke and flames, she spotted a small figure struggling to escape the ruins. Grandma! At the sound of her voice, the old woman began waving frantically. She's alive, thought Kanye. Alive! Kanye's legs sprang to life as she raced across the yard toward the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, a shade up opened in its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kanye tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes as she tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up now! As Kanye struggled to her feet, the shade stomped toward the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move the claw from her stomach, but she might well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood into the air, then collapsed to the ground, her energy spent. Kanye lurched to his feet, not only to fall back to earth with a gasp. Her ankles were on fire. One or both of them were surely broken. Ignoring the pain that's screaming through her body, she began dragging herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on. Just a little longer. Her grandmother's face was turning blue, her eyes rolling back until only the whites were exposed. Kanye pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness, this distance seeming to increase with every little second that passed. The shade glanced between two women and flicked out its tongue, its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside his core. Bastard. Laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion, but there could be no doubt the shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The shade moved his claws slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff out her life when Kanye was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kanye rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap from her right ankle as the foot twisted backward. Ooh. But she forced it from her mind and began to hobble toward the monster. Pulling a small knife from the pouch at her waist, she leapt up on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back, she screamed. Give her back to me. It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt with a dull snap. The shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing through the air toward the young girl that was lashed to his foot. Ganyu never had a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. As she lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds, a small, weak voice spoke up. Ganyu. Kanyu's vision blurred, but she forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. Grandma, Kanye, you gotta run. You can't best this one. Kanye grabbed the hands and held on with all her strength. Grandma, come on, we have to go. The old woman coughed loudly. One of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kanye's grasp and dumped to the ground below. Grandma! No! No! I said run. God damn it. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished before she could say another word. The shade's clawed foot descended, smashed through the remains of the roof, and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood just oozed from gaps in the creature's toes as a terrible putrid smell assaulted Kanye's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that what she was seeing could not possibly be real. When the creature finally lifted its appendage, all that remained underneath was twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble and red. Her grandmother was gone. Kanye blinked once, twice, trying to feel the hands which had been in hers just a moment before. For a fleeting instant, she could remember the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers. But then the sensation drifted away on the breeze. It was just gone. Memories flashed through Kanye's mind, one after the other, faster and faster, until they became a meaningless jingle of a noise. Kanye screamed then, a thunderous sound that echoed off the cliffs and seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor, I don't even know if that's how you say it, pouring from his mouth and dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kanye's body slowly rose as if controlled by a mad puppet master. Her arms and legs were bent at impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side. Yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with a deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backward, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kanye seized the moment. Laughing like a mad woman, she leapt into the air and plunged the shattered hilt of her knife deep into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kanye off like a fly, sending her crashing to the earth once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly as if a great weight were resting on it. Moist sounds of pain echoing through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No, I just can't die. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kanye's mind, just something finally broke. The sound, the pain, the smoke and flames, all of it faded away until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it. 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 We could say it in Japanese like 死ね死ね死ね死ね死ね死ね死ね殺してやる殺してやる殺してやる Kill it now. As a spark that was Kanye slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live blend into one. The distance between heartbeats grew longer and longer and longer. Ara? Also, this all happened when she was petrified? What a massive change! What is with this camera angle? What? What? Interesting. We're back here. My one more shinderu. Boom. Goodbye, Pickle Rick. Kanye's dreams. Encounter. Susie, it sounds like you really like the child Nier. Oh, we're back here again. Gently, weakly, softly. The shade, sure that his tormentor was dead, turned and stomped off toward the horizon, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. This is the second playthrough. This dialogue was not here before. Usually how playthroughs work for these is that you go to a previous stopping point and then go to a different, either like a parallel route to understand more of the story. That's usually how it is. Shamed beyond imagining, Kanye tried to turn her head to the side, but only succeeded in coughing up a huge vat of blood. It was getting difficult to see, and only after a moment of fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned her remaining eye to the ruins of her home and noticed the ragged stump of an arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice from the depths of her right. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought at the unseen assailant. Go to hell before I pluck your fucking eyes out and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another, more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No, stop. I don't want to live forever. I want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper fluttered in and out of existence for a moment, then produced a piece of paper and sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turns the page to Kanye and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw someone else. It was a picture of a grandmother, real as life. Kanye opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing at it with sharpened pincers. Stop! No! Don't hurt that picture! Kanye reached out with her remaining arm and waved futilely at the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the picture into the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kanye turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled, then broke into a jolly dance. See that? He cried as he danced. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha cha cha cha. I look like that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. Drowning in despair, Kanye laid her head back in the mud as smoke of her ruined house and waited for the end to come. But just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began whispering in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time. Oh. As the insanity had somehow found a way to take form, Kanye wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, wish like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me, save me. Kanye finally resorted to shouting at the voice with her mind. I don't make wishes. They don't come true for me. I'm a curse, a freak. I should be left to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh God, you're the best. I have a feeling that's not it. I don't think it's the grandma. Kanye glanced away and saw a black shiny substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away, but her remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began moving up toward the rest of her body. Hi, Hans. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind just losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feel the hot searing pain it left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, she was still alive, and this was real. Come on, said the voice. Let it go. Kanye tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newcomer would have none of it. Don't ignore me, Sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die, so why not let me have it? Have what? Oh, I guess it's just the evil version. Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stay on the ground. I feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out the throats and bathe in the blood just like before. In response, Kanye shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingled with the pain of the encroaching black ooze. Okay, so it's like her evil, her shade self, it sounds like. Are you a shade? Yeah, maybe. What of it? The slime reached her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed into the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kanye was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispered moan. Feels good, don't it? Asked the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body. Come on, just give it to me. And I'll give you more of this feeling. It's fair trade. A black lump began to protrude from Kanye's side as she watched it grew longer and thicker, eventually taking the form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. The slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling at how she had regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated as if considering this request, then quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. Ah, what the hell, Sunshine? Screamed the voice. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Grandma said, can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade that had killed her and heard its mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. What is... I'm trying to figure out what this voice is. Why does it say Sunshine? Her whole body was quaking with rage. When she opened her eyes again, they burned bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kanye glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern. The pattern of the shades burned itself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, Sunshine. I think you and me are gonna be good friends now. Kanye stared intently at her arm. The more emotional she felt, the more the letter seemed ready to puncture her skin and began infecting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop. Gotta stop. Holding her left arm in her right, Kanye took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hate's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger burn with the fire of revenge. Thirst for blood to go out there and... Shut up. Shut up and get the hell out of my body. Your body... Oh, that's rich. Sunshine, real rich. Look, I got something for you. Why don't you just up and die so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet those buddies of yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kanye grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade-infected portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed her right wrist, crushing it. Kanye screamed and dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on bone filled the air. Stupid girl. You're possessed now, Sunshine. And there ain't no going back. No, thank you. I don't want to see it. I'm good. The voice laughed again. A loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kanye. Yeah, possessed. You and me. We got something what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Hi, Jeff. Kanye looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seemed smaller somehow, darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So listen, purred the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't all bad. There's plenty in it for you too. I'm a very powerful creature, Sunshine, and now that power belongs to you. I feel like I sound like Hades from Hercules. You know, it's like he's just like Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. All powerful Hercules. Oh, our little boy turned into a macho man. Everyone's all cheering for him. Da 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 da. Snap. I feel like I'm Hades with this monologue right now. You got enemies, people you want to kill. I can make it happen. That little fat kid who kept picking on you, that big old shade that you squash your granny, will wrap it up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, Sunshine. No more pain. What do you say? Wait, said Kanye, you're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? Jeff, sure. You could DM me, or you could put it into the channel. Doesn't matter. It's your preference. How much you watch Hercules Sensei? I watched it once. I don't know too much of the actual movie. Maybe I'll watch it again. What, you think I'm some kind of racist? I'm killing snob. I don't give a good goddamn who you murder, honey pants. I just want to drink from the well. Kanye considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke from her house was drifting away with the wind, and she enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new left arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me, we could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of the bloody part if you don't want. Fuck off, asshole. Muttered at Kanye, I'll handle the killing. Oh, look at you go, Sunshine. We're gonna have so much fun. So listen, my name's Tyron. If you ever need me, I'll just be hanging on this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour. And I like rotten and sour. What are the maximum emotes? Right now, I can only use 7. Every time we get some members, I could increase it a little bit more. For Discord, I could put a lot more though. If that's what you're wondering about. Kanye found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, she said, I think this can work. I don't know who's saying this. I'm gonna find that shade and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when I'm done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyron. You better count on it. Last Tyron, I have shit bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, you go soft, I'm gonna take over everything. So keep on killing, Sunshine, and watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kanye herself. Kanye waited until she was sure the voice was gone. Then she waved her new left arm around a few times. Feels perfectly normal, she thought. Feels like mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding it at the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. I actually moved my left arm as I said that. When Sensei gets too into the voice. She didn't want it to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I am not a shade. I am Kanye. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she slowly began digging through the rubble of her house, being careful to ignore a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was a wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kanye started to place it in her hair, then slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm so sorry. But I don't deserve to wear this anymore. Possessed, corrupted, a freak. And this time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kanye fell to the ground and sobbed. As night gradually... Sorry, I'm cleaning my glasses. As night gradually lightened to dawn and the people of the area arose to their daily lives, she remained in the position as if tears could somehow wash away the horror that now infected her world. Oh, this is Emilia calling for her right now. Woo! I don't need to talk for a while. You're awakened? Yes, finally we could do some gameplay. Or not, we'll see. Oh, this is a part where they we're talking about where they can't sleep, huh?
分かってちょうだい。揉め事が起きて危害が及ぶのは。でも大丈夫ですよ。僕らなら
待てよ。己の身を犠牲にして村を救ったかい。
だって僕らこんなんだし、あなたにそう思ってね。私はじゃあ
It really feels like a visual novel. It has this visual novel pacing.
どうした俺。ちっともくそ今日。
Sorry for chat having to deal with all this. I actually don't mind this, honestly. But Devora? I thought it was Popora last time. Oh, okay, there we go. That was Popora. Actually, those were all right.
彼女たちは村を第一に考えた結果、ああいうしかなかっただけだ。村人たちを魔物の恐怖から守ろうとして言ったことだ。デボルさんとポポルさんの罪を責めるなんてできない。
I'm kind of okay too. Is it because I'm narrating the whole thing, so it's like story time? Honestly, it granted. Yeah. Nier also always like took it for granted for sure. That is true. It's basically just a light novel. V, you are correct. It's basically just a light novel.
カイネとエミールに会え。いや、この声は。
カイネさんとまたお話ができて、僕嬉しいです。
My dictionary will fly and speak. AZ.
カイネさんを助けるために一生懸命磨いてみたり、お湯をかけたのか。はい。でも全然ダメで。
just has no
石化を解いてくれてありがとう。ちょっとだけ姿が変わっちゃいましたけど、辛い思いをさせてしまったな。でもこうしてカイネさんを見ながらお話できるようになりましたし。そうだ、私の話はつまらないぞ。カイネさんのこともっと知りたいんです。わかった。私に魔物がつく前、子供の頃の話だ。私は少し変わった体をしているせいで、村では厄介者として扱われていた。でもただ一人、おばあちゃんだけが私を受け入れてくれたんだ。どんなに辛いことがあっても、おばあちゃんがいてくれるだけで私は生きようと思えた。カイネさんにとって本当に大切な人なんですね。ああ。そうだ、カイネさんの石化も治ったんですから。魔物つきのことや僕の体を治す方法も見つけましょう。みんなで探せばきっと簡単ですよ。僕たちならきっとできると思います。お湯をかけるよりは難しいと思うがな。もうそのことは忘れてください。
眠れたのか。
ああ、
目が赤いな。あまり思い詰めるな。
ポポルさんたちのところに行く。
わかった。
はい。
なんだ、
これは
母親の。
ああ、国門病にかかっ。
すまん。
いや、これは唯一これを読むと。
そう。
だけど、
奇妙なメッセージ。
This diary wasn't here before.
ああ、それは。
Oh lord. Oh no. Am I gonna have to read more?
おい、聞こえておらんのか。おい、何をほうけているのだ、お主。
すまん。何か夢を見ていたような。
立ったまま寝るとは器用なやつだな。行くぞ、あの扉だ。
ああ、行くか。
I am so confused what's going on. Here, let me go back and save. Hi, Manu. It's the DLC. Ah, I see.
どうし。
何か。
ああ、
Oi.
Konnichiwa. こんにちは。
よ、いいが。
いいえ。ええ、それと。俺も。
お前が彼女たちに。
ちゃんと。
So most of this, if it's basically a playthrough, just like every other game, a lot of it's gonna be very similar. We just need to spot the differences. Like that was pretty similar from the last run. I don't know if it activates when the Bunny Explorer is launched. It should activate when you press your E. Because it says using elemental skill, right? So whenever you press your E, that's when it activates.
Popo. 昨日は。
どうして？
でも、村のみんなのためなのに、辛く当たってしまった。
No problem. Bye, Peanuts. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi. I appreciate it.
優しいのね。
そういえば。
ええ、石のし。
我の意図。
そう。
でも。
よ、ま、石、鮮度、これ。
ありがとう、ポポルさん。本当に。
Alright, so we already read this. The flower wasn't in any of Devilo's books, so I'll name it Nier. That's funny.
門の上から行けるな。
Oh.
水路か。ようやく完成したのだな。これで走り回らずに済むようになるといいが。
Is it this way? It's this way.
移動が早くなれば、それだけ早くヨナに近づけるってことだ。遠慮なく伝わせてもらおう。
I don't think this ever give me medicinal herbs. What a really annoying way to get to the ferryman, though.
その赤いカバン。
ああ、あれから仕事ありがとう。あ、
You're still alive. Interesting.
この洞窟の先に、そして
行くぞ。
Let's go. Interesting. So the two statues' name is Gretel and Hansel. So now we understand what the shades are talking about. So we're getting a little bit of a preview of what the shades are talking about now. Hi. 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 The OST is really nice, you are right. Oh, I got that voice sort of right for Tyrant. Sensei, did you notice Eula first and second auto animation didn't connect? Probably not. I probably didn't realize it. Alright, thanks, Daisy. We're trying to figure out where something went wrong, because my calculations were right. But it should be 13 stacks. But my calculation for 12 stacks was correct for some reason. So we're trying to figure out why that is. Oh, I was not paying attention. Here we go. Oi. Her animation has some cuts. Oh, just the animation itself? Okay.
何か通常の魔物と
So it's not our video, it's her animations. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
そういえば聞いたことがある。俯瞰全体の魔物が集まっている場所がある。
Alright. Let me take a look at what they were saying. Animation. Oh, are you just talking like how they look? That made me so scared. It's okay. I think there is still something strange, so we just gotta figure it out. But the animation didn't go simultaneously. Okay. So it's like more of a graphics thing, it sounds like. Hoi! Okay, so I guess we're just gonna have to fight all of them. Time to cheese it out. Well, it seems like no one really even cares, so I'm probably just gonna do this. What? 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 You just gotta cheese it out. Wonder if the enemies got stronger from the second playthrough. I know in Automata it does. Sensei still on life support. I didn't change it to normal. I'm still playing on hard. Hi Sensei, is this a replay? Sort of. So it's a second playthrough, but more for like we're trying to understand more of the story. Cause like there's some stuff that we missed. Wait! Uh-oh. You're good. Wait! What's going on there? Wait. 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 Alright, I should change the difficulty to normal. I forgot. Sounds good. Thanks, Susie. Thanks for all the hard work. I really do appreciate it a lot, Susie.
カイネ、エミール、今度から俺も野宿するよ。
なぜですか？
お前らだけ村に入れないなんて、やっぱりどう考えてもおかしい。不自然だ。
抗議運動というわけで。
いいな。Oh, on the title screen. Okay, so I need to change it on the title screen.
やめておけ。
けど、このままじゃ俺の気持ちが。
では、その気持ちだけありがたくいただいておきます。
エミール、
この大事な時期に慣れない野宿で体調を崩したら大変ですから。それに僕、カイネさんと二人きりです野宿。割と気に入ってるんです。 そういうことだ。邪魔するな。
はい。
雑魚が多いな。
蹴散らすぞ。
はい。
今は手紙など
Are you serious? Alright, we'll just dodge like that. Weiss, you're always in the way. You're in the way, Weiss! Weiss is preventing me from cheesing the game. Hi. Oh my goodness. He was an honor to cheat. Basically. Hi. 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 Hi, Neko. I've been doing all right. Hope everything has been good for you, Neko. Oh, you ordered a PS5? What happened to getting a clear or something, AZ? Damn it, that money on clear. Okay, so we're going to change this difficulty to normal. We're gonna, so the playthroughs would be a lot faster. You're in a meeting? Hopefully your meeting went well.
者は光に当たると知るぞ。おびき寄せろ。さすがは雑魚。たやすいもの。
あの石像がボスだ。皆を操ってるぞ。
はい。Sensei being chill as always, yes.
泣かせるね、笑わせるね。
The problem is the Faker way higher right now. Oh no. Wow, normal's significantly easier than hard. This is the part where Kaine got stabbed, right? If I remember correctly.
しぶといね。あいつも頑張るね。
くそくそくそ。
おい、まさかあのでかいのに同情してるんじゃないだろうか。俺たちはもう引き返すことなんてできない。血を求めて
What?
殺戮に走るしかない。
You see how much damage I take? I take like no damage now.
そうだろう。はい。
カイネ。
何やってるんだ。
アイネさん。
Sorry, Gretel. I don't know anything of what you're saying since we're playing Nier.
"大丈夫か、カイネ。今傷の手当てを。
この傷はもはや。
ダメです。カイネさ
なんだこれは。
カイネ、お前も終わりだよ。
ん。カイネさん。カイネさん。
Nah, I think you're good, AZ.
き落とすしかないよ。
はいはい。
カイネさん、正気に戻ってください。
Just be careful next time, AZ. That's it. You're good. You're good. Dude, normal's way too easy. This is way too easy. Okay, I see what you're saying, V. Yeah, I thought you were saying something else. But glad to know it was just a joke.
私はもうずっと一緒にいますよ、僕は。また魔物化したら今みたいに止めます。何度だって何度だって止めます。何度だってカイネさんに戻ってきてもらいます。僕、カイネさんがいるからノジコも本当に楽しかったんです。カイネさんが褒めてくれるからこんな姿でも生きていられるんです。僕、本当はとても弱いけどカイネさんといれば強くなれるんです。頼ってばかりの僕だけど泣くな。ありがとう。もう
That's easy. I mean, but the thing is, I'm playing on normal. The gap between normal and hard is way too big. I'm not even playing on easy. That's why I'm a bit like, I mean, I guess it achieves it, but still. I'm just like, it's a bit way too easy.
読めないな。
使えるやつだ。
これは番号。
なんとかなり。
これは魔王の城。ちょっと分かって。あ。
かま。
So I did read through all of it. None of the text is different. So probably the only difference between this playthrough and the other ones is probably just what the enemy, because the enemies can speak now. I think that's the main difference. That is true. I could change outfits. I forgot. I probably need to go to the title screen. Huh. Looks like I might need to go to the title screen to do it.
Ah, そんな実は結婚妻と一緒に追い埋め合わせをして仕方ない。船に乗るのかい？
I can't imagine how much pain NPCs go through. Just gotta say the same thing over and over again. Oh wait. Oh wait, this is not where I wanted to go. Where did I want to go again? Oh no. Oh my goodness.
女の妻でもこうそうあスキン秘密あれ赤い
Oh, actually, this might be right. Oh, actually, no, this doesn't look right. Is it? Yeah, this doesn't look right.
赤い行ってみよう
The Northern Plains. There we go. So we gotta go this way. Hi, Kami. Hoi, hoi. I missed you. I didn't care too much about your Hutao, though.
Oh, どこ行った逃がすなここで仕留めておくんだあっちが怪しいぞ
This is pretty sad. Why are they hunting shades? Interesting. Hmm.
私のマスターの死何百年も前に正確には ヶ月14日2時間43分寂しいくれよ
This is very sad.
殺すくれよ殺されるダメくれよ P33 P33 守る仕事くれよ守る
This is the reason why the Shade and the robot teamed up together.
ここならいっぱい機械がありそうだね。
これだけあっても使える機械はほんの一部さ。
見て見て、こっちはまるで新品だ。
慌てるな。
Stream's going all right.
大丈夫。
まずい。
え？
Just doing another playthrough of this right now. I know, right? The robot is making advanced decisions. Rip. Rip.
ロボット山か。あの兄弟に話を聞いてみよう。何か知っておるかもしれぬしな。
Where's the mailbox again? Right here. Sorry, chat. I'm thinking of something right now. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna call it here. And I don't think I'm gonna plan to stream Nier anymore. I think for the rest of the game, I sort of want to play it by myself. Sorry for this rash decision. I feel like a lot of times when I'm watching these scenes, chat isn't really aligned with what I'm watching, and it sort of ruins the moment for me, so I sort of want to play this by myself now. Sorry. And I don't think it's chat's fault, it's just like I sort of want to intertwine with what the story is and everything, but what I'm feeling from what I'm seeing from the chat, it doesn't align with the feelings that I want to correspond to from the story of the game, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, Jeff, you came to... Yeah, no worries. Don't worry, it's not your fault. Alright, so I am going to end it here. Tomorrow I was going to stream Nier. I think instead I'll probably just do Terraria instead. That's what I'm thinking. So, let me see. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop here for today for the stream. You just came here to listen to Sensei talk. Yes. I'll probably just do Terraria. And then with that, I'll probably change to another game. I'll probably just finish up Nier. Since I'm playing it by myself, I should be able to finish it in a day or two, knowing myself. Probably in 2 days, I'm assuming. But, thank you all for joining the stream, and hopefully I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone! Bye-bye! Boop, boop, boop.